It's really interesting, and I should add, we're talking about newly engaged Tim Scott, as
That's
you
right.
scooped with your colleague, yesterday, Marianne. But I wanna drill down on that question of the running mate idea because it's one that seems like it does come up a lot. And even beyond Scott, we've seen other Republicans here, appear for Trump in a way that, some of the party are looking at it as like, well, maybe they're sort of auditioning for this. You had a good story on, Elise Stefanik, who's another Trump ally. Um, can you talk a little bit about who we've seen come through the state and who is sort of seen right now as a potential running mate if he is the nominee?
Yeah, I mean, this just in the last few days, we've seen Elise Stefanik from New York, we've seen JD Vance, we've seen Tim Scott. Those are the names that I think people are discussing just because they were out here in New Hampshire as surrogates. Elise Stefanik had a pretty big crowd on Saturday. Granted, it was you're in the event was at the campaign office, which is small quarters sometimes, but nevertheless the room was completely filled. She is someone who is widely viewed as a potential vice presidential candidate. She has been a really staunch supporter of Trump in the last few years, especially going back to his first impeachment. And Trump even called her up on stage on Friday. So she's definitely someone whose name is out in the ether. The JD Vance was also out here. Trump basically helped Vance get the nomination to become the senator from Ohio. He basically helped Vance get the Republican nomination in his Senate race, and so I think that loyalty to Trump is definitely there from JD Vance, and then of course you have Tim Scott. So those are some of the names, but I think it's important to note the Trump campaign has really tried to tamp down any discussion about the vice presidency, especially given that they're trying to basically voice that the race is not over quite yet and that they want to focus on New Hampshire. So I think that even as Trump suggested in Iowa that he knew who he was going to pick, it's still a pretty big question. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of speculation and a lot of names that are out there, true or not, about who he might pick as his running mate.